I'll make sure that happens, all right?
Okay.
All right, so it looks like you were here back in, or maybe you weren't here. You called the courthouse maybe to get a new date for you.
I could not log into the Zoom link.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
no
it
worries.
wasn't working, and that's not my fault. That's the court's fault. Thank you.
Right. Okay, so it looks like you got a citation. This would have been October of last year for hands-free violation and failing to yield for emergency lights. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, and I have requested the footage because I was the officer was unmarked. First of all, I've never seen an unmarked sheriff, and I've requested why they were unmarked. First of all, second of all, I did pull over immediately. They were initially following somebody who was speeding ahead of me. Like well over 20 miles an hour. And at first they said they were going to, I saw they were going to the left of me, and and I was at a complete stop. I did pull over immediately. That is 100% lie. And then, and when I came to a stop, and then they came to the left of me, that is when I started recording. After I was completely at a stop, and it was not it, and it wasn't illegal, and it was hands free.
So okay. So I guess what do you want? How are you hoping to handle this citation?
I'm requesting the footage, and I've requested
Okay,
that
so
already in the office of the prosecutor once before, and it's my right to see the footage that you have against me. It's called discovery. I know my rights, and I don't have to pay for it either. I don't have to pay for it because I know Campbell Knutson plays this game where you got to pay this big fee to see the footage. We're in a court date, are we not?
yep.
Okay, and I have the right to see the discovery. I want to see the discovery.
Okay, so there is currently a standing court order by the chief judge of the Hennepin County bench. That standing order prohibits prosecutors from sending digital discovery, so body camera footage and squad footage. We cannot, by law, send you that via email. So the way that we bypass that is we can show you the footage in person. Whether you come to the courthouse or whatever it may be, you can go to the police station. So the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, you can go to the police station, and they are supposed to let you view the body camera footage.
The local, like the local police, like the Golden Valley Police.
No, so this isn't the Golden. So the Hennepin County Sheriff, they are the ones who did it. So you have to go to a sheriff's office.
Okay.
Because since Golden Valley didn't, pull you over, they're not going to have the body camera footage. The departments don't share that stuff. So if you go to the
Well,
Hennepin
and
County,
so you're telling me that I don't have a right to see the footage right here in the court date? We're in a court date now, and you're supposed to
Yeah.
show the footage that you have against me. You're supposed to show right here in the court date the footage that the state has against me. I'm not. I've already requested it once before.
So this is a payable calendar. So we don't generally at a payable arraignment, we don't even have all of that discovery yet because this is just the first step of the arraignment process.
Okay.
If you wanted something a little bit different, one of the things we can do is put this on a pretrial calendar, which is in person. That would, when if you wanted to show up to that pretrial.
No,
hearing,
I don't want to. I don't want to show up in person because these sheriffs and these police scare me. They've already pulled me over 40 times here. This is police harassment, and I've proven it. I've proven it to people, to other lawyers, and all kinds of other people. This is police harassment. I do not feel safe going in front of a court date. I don't feel for my own safety. I don't feel safe going near a sheriff. That's why I recorded them, because they scare me. And he scared me because he wasn't unmarked. He was unmarked. And I've never seen an unmarked sheriff in a residential area. They're not supposed to be unmarked and pulling people over for minor traffic violations. I looked up the law. The law says they're only supposed to be unmarked if they're doing detective work. And so I've already been on the phone with the Department of, who the person who, the Department of Public Safety, I believe it was. Yeah, and I requested, what are these unmarked sheriffs doing? And I didn't get any kind of straight answer. Why was he unmarked to begin with? That is why I started recording him, because I didn't understand who he was. He scared me, and there was no insignia. And so I pulled over as soon as the lights went on. That's a completely false charge. Second of all, I started recording because it's an unmarked vehicle with no insignia at all. You're not even a state insignia.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay,
so
that's 100% illegal. I looked at the law. Even if you're unmarked, you still have to have some insignia. So why did he not have any insignia on his vehicle?
I could not tell you.
Well, you need to look this stuff up, because I'm recording this. This is illegal what he did to me.
All right. Well, that's an issue that you'll have to bring up with someone else.
Well, like who? I've already tried calling the Department of Public Safety, and they didn't get back to me. So who actually is running this state?
If you have some kind of civil rights claim, that's something that you would need to bring to a civil rights lawyer.
I've already tried reporting them to the Civil Rights Office and the Human Rights Office. I've already tried reporting the police and the sheriffs to the Civil Rights Office and the Human Rights Office. I've already filed official complaints against them, and I never got contacted. So I guess that went out the window into the same black hole that all my complaint to the Department of Public Safety went. Does it just go into a black hole called the CIA? It goes into a black hole called the CIA. Yeah, we know how it operates here. So,
all right. Well, that's a different branch of the government for me. So unfortunately, I'm not a whole lot of help on how they operate.
Well, I'm stuck in the middle, being criminally harassed, and I'm telling you that I have documented footage of being pulled over 40 times in Hennepin County. It started in 2013, and it's all documented. Some of them got dismissed. Some of them illegally went on my record. It took years to get them off. It's costed me jobs. This is criminal at this point.
I hear what you're saying, but unfortunately that doesn't really have much to do with what we're here today with.
Okay, so today I would like to plead not guilty and set up, some kind of next step.
All right, well, it's going to depend on what you want your next step to be. So there's a few ways of going about this today. And this is not an exhaustive list of what is to come, but I'll give you what the options are today. So in Golden Valley, we have what we call the ticket education program. And what that means is you have the opportunity to have this case dismissed from your record by doing a little bit of work. So we offer, part of the program is an online driving class. You take the class, you make yourself eligible for the continuance for dismissal. So if you take this class and you pay a $50 fine, and you have no same or similar offenses. So that just means, in your case, as long as you're not cited with the hands-free violation or failure to yield for an emergency vehicle, as long as you don't have any similar citations to those for 1 year, the case will be dismissed. So that's the first option. You don't have to take it, but it's there. The second option is, and I know you just said you don't want to plead guilty, but I just want to make sure you are aware. You could plead guilty to these and they would be done. The third option for today is that we would set this for a court trial. So that trial would be essentially like what you see on TV, just without the jury. Mm-hmm. So a judge would be the one who decides whether or not you are guilty of the offense. Mm-hmm. And at a court trial, the sheriff who pulled you over, we would call him as a witness. Mm-hmm. And I would ask him questions pertaining to the events that took place and, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Once I'm done asking him questions, I'm done asking him all my questions about this, you would also have the opportunity to ask him questions as well.
Do there get to be witnesses there, and do there get at the trial, and do there get to be, like, you know what I mean? Like, where is it? Would that be in person, or would that be?
That court trial is in person.
Okay. And when would that be?
It would depend on when the dates are set. I don't know what those dates are, but the clerk that checked you in would know. Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
And okay. Can you find out when the dates would be?
Yeah.
The date options.
Okay. Yeah, just 1 second.
This is how they trick you into pleading guilty to something. I'm not guilty at all, but I'm afraid to go to court because they've arrested Trump people before right in court illegally. Then you never see them again. Okay, but now I'm being basically threatened into pleading guilty for something, and then going to traffic school. This is how they trick you, and then they trick you to always pleading guilty to some kind of lesser charge, and they never 100% dismiss anything. This is how the courts trick you into these false charges, and then these false charges add up and add up and add up, but you're tricked. It's a trick. You're tricked and you can't get out of it. There is no other option, even though you're 100% innocent. You don't get the option of being dismissed. You have to go to this thing. Okay, but then, I'll pay this $50 and I'll go to this class. But then they'll criminally continue to harass me, and then I'll be forced to not record them, because then it would violate this one, and then it'll be a snowball effect. I know exactly how they operate. They'll force me to do this traffic school, and I'll do this dumb traffic school. I'll always do what I'm supposed to do, but then they're criminally forcing me to admit that I did something wrong, which I did not. That's why I'm requesting the footage. You have to, by law, show the footage in a discovery trial. And they are refusing. Hennepin County is refusing. This is not the first time. They are 100% refusing to show the discovery footage that the sheriff has on me. And right now we are in an arraignment trial where they are supposed to show this footage. And they are denying me my right to see the footage. Normally this is standard procedure, where you show this footage in court. Okay, and the state is by law supposed to show you the evidence they have against you. This state will not. This state refuses to show the footage, and then they try to get you to pay for it. Campbell Knutson tried to demand $40 for this footage for this one, this other false thing. What was it? There's so many I forgot. It's like 40 of them now since 2013. This is how the courts trick you. That we do not have a legitimate court system here, especially in Hennepin County with these Democrats here. This is scary, and I'm totally afraid to go to court. But then I don't have an option. And then if I go to court, I'll probably be arrested. So, but I'm going to request a court date because I'm not going to plead guilty to anything. I'm 100% innocent, and you have criminally harassed me 40 times here in this county since 2013, and it's other states. I have been criminally harassed to death. Okay, but I'm gonna, I guess, have to request a court date in which I have to go in person, and then they'll probably arrest me right in Hennepin County. But I don't have I'm not going to plead guilty because this is going to be, I'm not going to take their dumb traffic class because they probably won't let me pass it. I'll log in and I won't be able to log in and finish it, and that'll just be a big waste of my time. And then even if I do finish it, then they'll play this game where, you had within a year, if it'll be dismissed if you don't get another ticket. Well, they'll make sure they'll harass me so I get a bunch more tickets, so they will never dismiss it. It's a game they play. It's a game. I've played it with them for 12 years now. I've been playing this game with the courts. And I just start recording them and I start putting them in their place because they are the criminals. And they always want to pull me over and ask me personal information, which is a violation. First of all, it's a violation of your rights because your vehicle is your private property. Okay, and they've harassed me just sitting in a parking lot. In Texas, I was just in a parking lot, and they criminally started harassing me. That's a complete violation, Fourth Amendment violation, because my vehicle is my private property, and I was sleeping. I was trying to rest. I had just dropped somebody off from a trailer park, and then I was just resting for a few minutes at this place in Uvalde, Texas, and I'm in my car resting, no keys in my car or anything, just resting there. and they started knocking on the door and say I'm not supposed to be parked in that lot. There was no signs in that lot. It was a public parking lot. So they were criminally harassing me in my own vehicle. Okay, and this is what they've done to me for years. Your vehicle is your private property. That's a constitutional violation for them to harass you in your own vehicle. Some people live in their vehicles now, with the type of economy. And you can't just be harassing people in your own vehicle. That's like their home. Okay, but they do that. They do that, and that's criminal harassment. And they've done it to me for years. And then they try to ask you personal information when they're criminally pulling you over to begin with, and trying to get personal information from you. You don't have to give them any information unless they have a warrant. I don't have to provide any information to them. I don't have to tell you anything. You don't have a warrant, and you didn't even have a real reason to pull me over, and I do not have to tell you one thing, okay? Because you are the criminals. You don't have to tell. You definitely do not let them ever search your vehicle unless there is a warrant, but because they will plant things in your car. These criminal cops will plant stuff in your vehicles. So do not trust them, and you definitely say, no, you do not have permission to search my vehicle. And if this is not a valid stop, you don't have to show them your ID. You don't have to show them insurance, anything. So this is so much wasted. I've spent this is 40 times now, so this is at least probably how many hours of my time has the police harassed me. It's over 100 hours of my time of criminal police harassment, and it's still going on, as you can see. Okay, and what did I do? I was just a military whistleblower, 13 years ago. Okay, and it's just, they have to be held accountable for what they are doing. This is criminal harassment against me. So I'm waiting for them to come on, and I guess I'm going to have to try to get a court date, which I'm sure they'll try to criminally arrest me at the court date. And I'm sure it'll be a fake judge, that the Democrats put in. Okay, so you think we're going to get any kind of real court date? Then I'll be convicted of a false charge. Once again, convicted of another false charge. And this has affected my work, my options for work, all kinds of stuff. So, if they start putting you on this list, this is what happens. I've talked about it. Targeted individual list right there. That's me. Yeah. And what did I do to deserve this? I filed a legitimate report on a military base 13 years ago. That was a legitimate crime where they found $2.7 million missing. And this is how they've ruined my life now because of this. And the police are involved, and the courts are involved. The prosecutors are involved. They know what they're doing is wrong. And they don't care because nobody's holding them accountable. We have to start holding them accountable. Otherwise, they'll continue getting away with it. And they're criminally terrorizing people. We've had, I've talked about this, how many people have been criminally murdered by the police here and gotten away with it, murdered. George Floyd was just one. There's a bunch more people. There was that rapper guy. There was that Dante Wright in Brooklyn Park, got shot to death by that Officer Kim, got away with it. They said she did like a year. Oh, I'm sorry, I pulled out my gun instead of my taser. Oh, whoops. I just killed somebody. Oh, that's sorry. And then we got Ricky Cobb in Shakopee that got murdered, and we don't even know if there was a real warrant or anything that happened there. And the state trooper shot him to death. All he did was say, "I would like to speak to my lawyer." He got pulled over. They never showed the footage, just like what you're seeing here. They will never show you the footage in Minnesota. And they refused to show the footage, what happened to Ricky Cobb as well, just like what they're doing to me. And they will not show the footage. and they said that he fled from them, so they shot him. No, he said, I would like to speak to my lawyer, and I have the Fifth Amendment right. I don't have to speak to you. That's what happened. Hennepin County and Dakota County won't tell you the truth, and they shot a man to death, and they haven't been held accountable. And so they're this is how they trick you. And this is how they trick you. You don't have a way to get out of it. He's on the phone right with his lawyer and saying, I don't have to speak to you. This is not a valid traffic stop. And you get shot to death here. Okay, so this is scary. This is terrifying. What's happening in our states with these lawyers and these prosecutors and these courts. This is downright scary. This is ruining people's lives. This has costed me. So this costed me like a bus driver job that I tried to apply for, and it's all fake charges, but I couldn't get out of them. Every single one of them was fake, but it was just added up, and then it costed me like a bus driver job, and they need bus drivers here. And I love that type of work. It's costed me income, and then if you can't, so how are you supposed to get a job when they're criminally harassing you like this to death? This is absolute 100% illegal, the way they're operating. The courts here and the police and the sheriffs.
Dates are going to be July 11th or July 25th at 2:30. Which one?
July 25th then.
July 25th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We will do that. How would you like your notice? Would you like that mailed, emailed, or both?
Just emailed is fine.
Emailed? Okay. And then just to let you know, court trials are held in person at the Brooklyn Center Courthouse.
Brooklyn Center Courthouse? Okay.
Yes. It's going to be on Shingle Creek Parkway.
Okay. Okay.
And then that will be at 2:30, and then I will send out a notice for you.
Okay.
Thank you. That should be all that I need from you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.